When y'all go on and on about how you can't wait for the collapse of this country and how you can't wait for the revolution and the Civil War and all this other shit, and people be saying this on both sides of the political spectrum, it just shows how sheltered we are as a nation and how most of y'all don't study civil wars in other countries. Even though I know historically every great dynasty goes through it, I pray that I am not alive to see this country go through a civil war. Another one. When it comes to Americans, we talk from a very privileged place when it comes to wars because we have not had a boots on the ground war fought on our soil since the Civil War. And if we ever did have a civil war, it would probably mimic that of Yugoslavia, Libya, or Libya. You would have a left spectrum and a right spectrum. And on both sides of those spectrums, not only would they be fighting left versus right, but there would be so much infighting within groups on the same side of the political spectrum that you would have all these different mini militias. And also remember, if a civil war is to break out in a country, that means that there has been a complete collapse of that society. You're not calling the police. The most ruthless, the most deprived people will win. Neighborhoods will be turned into mass graves. The body parts of hundreds of dead women and children would be littered in the streets like yesterday's garbage. There would be food deserts. Hospitals would shut down. The children would have it the worst. Young boys would be forced by militias to fight. Some of them would be forced to kill their own parent. Go look up the civil wars in Sierra Leone and Liberia. Horrible, horrific acts of SA would be committed with no one there to stop it. Out in the open. Some militias might even force young boys to SA their own family members just to mentally break them and to corrupt their minds. Because if you could kill your own parents and you can SA your own mother, you will do anything. That is the reality of civil war. Imagine what we are reading in the Epstein files. It would be that times probably 40 on a daily basis. And usually after a revolution or some type of government overhaul or civil war, once the smoke is cleared, there's going to be some charismatic leader who rises up and uses their power and influence to snuff out all their political rivals and lead the country into more wars, just like Napoleon.